At long last, after years of leaks, speculation, and pure fan rage, we've finally been given the MLP G5 movie. The first ever generation of MLP to actually continue and build off of the previous generation. But before we get into it, note that I am going to be spoiling literally the entire film. I have a spoiler-free video if you'd prefer to watch that instead. Link in the description. So, this movie opens up with...
Hurry, friends! Time for another adventure! Adventure? I'm in! Yee-hoo!
The main six? Huh, well, this is a pleasant surprise. I didn't think we'd ever get to hear their voices again!
Fry brains!
Huh?
Rarity, you sound a little hoarse there. You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm a unicorn and we're evil! I'm gonna zap every pony with my horn lasers!
So it turns out that this is just three little foals named Sunny, Hitch, and Sprout playing together. Sunny saying that the three pony kinds are supposed to be friends, while Sprout says nay! We then learn that apparently all Earth ponies are taught in school that they defeated the unicorns of the Pegasi in an epic battle. Noting that tidbit for a future theory video. But wait a second! I talked about this picture in a previous video. Hey, what was that video about? Oh no! So then Argyle, Sunny's father, and her play for a bit. They then write a letter of friendship inviting any unicorns and Pegasi who find it to come to Maretime Bay. This little bit of the movie is so sweet and wholesome, and it does a fantastic job of catching up newer viewers who haven't seen MLPG4 on Equestria's history.
Good night, my little pony.
Roll credits! We then get a time skip to see Sunny is now grown up and living on her own. Yep, Argyle is dead. In the first couple minutes of the film, Argyle was portrayed to be the perfect parent, and while most parent deaths occur in movies because they are too inconvenient for the plot, Sunny's father dies in order to actually strengthen the audience's sympathy for her. Anytime her father is brought up, you feel sad for her. Whether or not it would have been better to leave him alive is up for debate, but let's just see where the movie goes with this. We then get our first song in the movie, and I gotta say, this is pretty great. Not just the song itself, but everything going on around Sunny that shows us just how scared every pony is of the unicorns and the Pegasi, whilst Sunny sings a song preaching the exact opposite message, and spread stickers all over town to combat the scary images promoted everywhere. Also, there are many points in this movie where hooves are just sticking to stuff like glue. But this? Sure, G4 had its fair share of hooves not working like hooves, but for the most part, they figured out how to animate them so that they actually look like they are grabbing stuff. But it may be just too hard to do with 3D animation. But what do I know about animation? I'm just a guy with a cheap microphone and a YouTube channel. Oh, and Sprout following her and casually stealing a guy's food is just hilarious. So then we meet our next character, Hitch, who tells Sunny that she can't enter the Cantrologic building and shoos her away. But not before a fun little song and dance.
Up high, down low, hitch it to a post, flip it sunny side up and on a piece of toast. Okay?
They have their own song. I can hear off in the distance, shippers are losing their minds right now. I do want to say something about the delivery of the exposition in this scene. There's very often a problem in movies with characters telling each other what they already know in order to catch the audience up to speed, and it comes off as clunky and unnatural sounding. This movie, however, actually did this pretty well, because everything they explain to the audience comes up pretty naturally and flows fairly well. Make a note of this scene because there is another moment in the movie that I want to compare it to later.
Bye-bye.
I just love the way he said that. We then move on into the Cantrologic factory, where Phyllis Cloverleaf is creating technology designed to defend from unicorn and Pegasi attacks. Wait, Phyllis? That doesn't sound like a pony name. That's the kind of name you give a plant. Then again, we do see another character later in the movie named Rob, so maybe they're trying to sprinkle in some more normal-sounding names? Odd change, but okay.
Skate pack!
Yikes, that's gonna be a lot of paperwork.
Pony's life at stake? Nah, all I care about is the paperwork. I find it hilarious that the products that are intended to keep ponies safe are in fact putting every pony in more danger. But oh no! Sunny has invaded the show, causing all kinds of mayhem!
Sheriff's orders!
We're trying!
Fully automated means it has to go through the whole cycle.
Wait, what? No! No! That's not what fully automated means! I was in a robotics club. We built 6-foot-tall robots that were able to operate fully automated. And you know what we had in case something went wrong? An emergency shut-off! What idiot designed this system without an emergency switch? Thankfully, we have Hitch here to save us. Being the only pony in the room with common sense, he pulls the plug on the system, cutting power to the contraption. Hey, you know what else would have done that? An emergency shut-off switch!
Come on, Sonny, what did you think was gonna happen? You give a little speech and what? Every pony just magically welcomes unicorns and Pegasi into Maretime Bay? You keep saying there's nothing to be afraid of, well then prove it. All of that pony unity stuff was just a foal's bedtime story made up by your dad.
Might I just say, I nailed that prediction video. I even pointed out this exact screenshot and said that they were talking about Sunny's father and how she views the other pony kinds. I'd say scary accurate predictions like that are probably a good reason to subscribe, don't you think?
Unicorn attack!
Door 1, Sprout 0. So after Hitch and Sunny's little talk, a unicorn named Izzy arrives in the town, causing all kinds of panic. Something I find really interesting about this scene is that even though Sprout is seemingly the only deputy in Maretime Bay, Hitch manages to get the entire town organized in order to capture Izzy, showing a high level of competence while also throwing in some comedic elements, like when he was ordering every pony around, and one such order was something so small as picking up litter. Wait, hold on a second. A law enforcement character in MLP that's shown to be not an idiot? My goodness, I can't wait to see what they've done with the Royal Guards.
The threat has been neutralized, the unicorn has been captured. You may now choose. Sonny! What are you doing? Don't even think about it. No, don't you dare. No, Sonny!
Well, he did tell Sunny to prove that there was something to be scared of, so he probably should have seen this coming.
Deputy, to the lighthouse!
Oh no! I appear to be trapped.
You gotta be kidding me.
Once again, Sprout is being pretty darn funny. They then head off to the lighthouse, where Sunny learns that Izzy apparently does not have magic. How does she learn this? By having Izzy open up a can of saucy beans. Yes, that is the brand name of Sunny's Beans. And that is the logo. So Hitch and Sprout show up, and Izzy and Sunny run off to Zephyr Heights, believing the Pegasi might know exactly how the unicorns lost their magic. And along the way, they sing yet another song. And in my opinion, this one is, not great, not bad, just, I only have one minor complaint, and that's the transition into the song. Feels like the song just came a little bit out of nowhere.
They could welcome us with open wings. But what if they don't? Up ahead is a sky growing dark.
Also, I choose to believe that Izzy is a descendant of Pinkie Pie. We then cut to Hitch and Sprout back in Maretime Bay, where Sprout is being a coward yet again. So Hitch decides to leave him behind to watch over Maretime Bay and go be a hero. Also, he tells Sprout to not start a war while he's gone.
Foreshadowing.
Door 2, Sprout 0. Dude, step up your game.
Oh, every pony loves Hitch. What does he have anyway? I've got stuff. I can do, things like that, and that, and that.
Dude, I was enjoying your character so much. You just went from funny to funny stupid to just is stupid. And annoying. You are the artificial sweetener of My Little Pony. We then return to the adventure, where Izzy is telling Sunny what a luminescence is, or a sparkle, which will come up again multiple times in the movie. How much importance does this carry in regards to the plot? None whatsoever! But what's this? Our protagonists are being chased by a giant bouncing rubber ball? Yes, because that was so much more effective than just using a hoof. Did the writers not think it was clear that she was a unicorn? I guess not, because we were given this really weird, unnecessary emphasis on her horn. Huh. Who knew rubber balls had wings? So before these two get to meet this rubber ball, she zips away, leaving them to the mercy of the... Wait. The Royal Guards? Oh my gosh! If a small town sheriff was shown to be actually competent at his job, I can only imagine what these guys are like.
Thunder! Get it together!
But that's an earth pony.
They're harmless. Did you bring the shield?
What shield?
Didn't you read the guard guide?
Yes. Okay, no.
Ugh.
I see nothing has changed. Also, tennis ball shield. We then get a look at the Pegasus city, Zephyr Heights, and it looks amazing. I just can't get over the amount of detail that went into the environments and the backgrounds in this movie. And in the background, we get our first introduction to Pip, who is...
What is up, every pony? Big shout out to all my fans, the Pipsqueaks.
Oh no. Okay, so I understand that times have changed, technology has advanced, so cell phones make sense. And honestly, I can't quite put my hoof on why exactly I hate the whole social media and smartphone thing so much. I just know that when Equestria Girls focused on anything along those lines, I despised it so much. However, when Equestria Girls went for the more fantastical route rather than the technological one, I was really able to enjoy myself. Also, there's all this talk about a royal celebration, but we're never actually told what that is.
Bow before our queen.
Mine's better! So the royals show up, and it's revealed that Miss Rubberball is actually Princess Rubberball. Sunny wants to ask questions about magic, and probably about 142 other things. But before she can say anything, Queen Haven has them thrown in the dungeon. We then cut back to Sprout, who is...
Yes, I am, Mommy.
making me like him less and less.
Well, this is it. It is your time to shine, dear. Every pony wants to hear from you.
Oh, so it's time to finally see Sprout in action. I wonder if his competence level will increase at all from this.
Citizens!
That's 3 total! Fillies and gents, we have ourselves a winner! The victor shall be given a check for 1 million bits. For reference, that's enough bits to buy 500,000 cherries, or 3 million tomatoes. Economics, you say? What's that? But we don't like to single any pony out on this show, so we'll be granting the loser a participation award. 1 lifetime supply of pain! Link to his eternal suffering is in the description and at the end of this video.
Now is not the time to be complacent. We should do something.
Let's enter a blind, irrational state. Better get nervous, better get tense. You don't need a reason, this is no time for sober thinking.
Whoa! What the heck are these lyrics? Let's enter a blind, irrational state? Better get nervous? You don't need a reason? This is no time for sober thinking? I mean, the background ponies were pretty dumb in G4, but he is literally saying, follow my orders brainlessly.
Follow my orders brainlessly.
Okay, so to be honest, I could probably spend the entire video analyzing this song alone, and from it, the message, the culture of Maretime Bay, Sprout's character, and so much more. But for now, I'll just say this. The song is great, my favorite out of the whole movie. Sprout may be stupid, but he is a great singer, and the song starts off with pretty darn creative lyrics, and then, towards the end, transitions into... But I will say, even though the lyrics aren't all that creative towards the end, it's so darn catchy! Which is really annoying when you're trying to do chores around the house and it gets stuck in your head. Also, if you look at the screens in the window here, you'll see that they are playing the G1 series of MLP. Now, watch as every theorist out there tries to connect these universes. Except me, who believes this is just a fun reference and nothing more.
Look at this corn! Look at that guy!
My name's Rob.
Wow, you really did run out of creative lyrics, didn't you? This doesn't even have anything to do with what's happening. We then cut to...
This princess smells so cadieux. Parfume la pipe.
Well, that happened. So Izzy and Sunny find themselves trapped in what is way too comfortable to be a dungeon, and they are visited by none other than Princess Rubberball herself, who frees them and explains that the Pegasi can't fly. Not even the royals, who have been faking it.
Zip. Just call me Zip.
I refuse to call you that, Princess Rubberina. We also get to see what was thought to have been some sort of station, filled with evidence that the three pony kinds once got along. We are also told about two crystals, one for the unicorns, and one for the Pegasi. Sunny then comes to the conclusion that the crystals being separated are what caused the loss of magic, and if they bring the magic back, every pony will be friends again. So, question. What exactly is the logic here? First off, you saw that the crystals were two parts of the same puzzle, and just assumed that's what caused the lack of magic? What connection do you see the crystals having to magic exactly? Second, why would bringing magic back suddenly make every pony friends again? There is no reason to think that! What is your logic? Please, tell us! Whew. Now that I got that little rant out of my system, time to address the heist, where they steal the Queen's crown. I personally found this heist very boring. Nothing interesting really happens here. It's just Rubberina telling us the plan as it's happening without any complications along the way. Well, except for the very end, but that, Kicking the crystal around isn't exactly very exciting. Now, I understand that the runtime is only 90 minutes, and they needed to be able to get to the next scene soon, but that does not save it from my criticizing lips! We then get to the next song in the film, Glowing Up. I actually heard this song before the movie came out, and I didn't care for it. But after seeing it with all of these visuals and the action going on, I still really didn't care for it. It just sounds like a generic pop song to me, with some of the most meaningless lyrics I have ever heard.
Glowing up, kinda love, dip and slide through the cut. Glowing up, kinda love. We say, you say,
Yeah, just not my kind of music. During this song, Hitch shows up disguised as a Pegasus, and Sunny and Izzy unintentionally cause the pony running the lights and wires to put the spotlight on Hitch, resulting in the best song in the whole movie.
Throwing up, find a glove, fly around, up, doing stuff that I love. You like why? I'm like what?
Hitch, you have successfully overthrown Danger Danger as the #1 song. Despite the words having even less meaning than the original version, I somehow like this one better. But oh no! Pip has gotten caught in the wires, and it's revealed that the royals cannot, in fact, fly! She's literally left hanging there by her sister and the rest of the main cast, but manages to catch up with them later on, carrying the crystal from the crown, since they dropped it on the way out. Like a bunch of klutz. Princess Rubberball then explains to Pip that they need the crystal to bring back magic, and Pip is like,
I require no further convincing. Here, let me help you because the plot needs to move forward.
oh, and Hitch tags along because, eventually he'll get to arrest Sunny. Meanwhile, back in Maretime Bay, we see what has to be OSHA's worst nightmare. Okay, Darth Sprout is officially funny again.
It is my factory, after all, dear.
It's my town, Mommy.
Never mind, you ruined it again. We then learn that Sprout has taken over his mother's factory in order to create a super secret project. And that's it. Back to the main characters, who are fighting amongst themselves as soon as they reach their first obstacle. But Sunny manages to rein them back in.
bring back magic. And once we do, you'll get to fly, you'll get your fans back, and you'll have me in custody.
Okay, he looks way too happy about that.
Every pony happy now. Ta-da!
My goodness, lady, did you just cut that down with your horn? That thing is massive! What kind of absurd strength do you have? Later on, the characters all stop for the night, and through talking with Izzy, Hitch learns that other pony kinds are not a threat, and Izzy shows everyone a letter that she found when she was a filly, telling her to come to Maretime Bay.
I made it with my dad. We always promised each other that someday
we would prove that all ponies were meant to be friends. We'll do our part, hoof to heart.
Every time he's brought up, it hits me right in the feels. We are then brought to Izzy's house, where they sing a song about disguising themselves as unicorns in order to get to the next crystal, during which Hitch says that the plan will never work, despite the fact that he literally just used the same plan to infiltrate the Pegasus City, and until his wings fell off, it worked flawlessly. I was concerned about this movie not lining up with the continuity of G4, which it does in several ways, but it's not even lining up with its own continuity, and we aren't even into the first episode of the series yet! That's gonna be some kind of new record! As for the song itself, it is probably my third favorite in the movie. First Hitch's parody, then Danger Danger, and now Fit Right In. I will say, however, I'm really not a fan of the rap sequence.
If we fail, we're going to prison!
They then start looking for the crystal when...
How can we tell which ones are magic?
Ooh, you said a bad word. Hurry, before we get jinxed. Hee-haw, bing, bing bong, bing bong.
I'm gonna need some context.
Unicorns are very superstitious. If a pony ever says a forbidden word, we have to do a ritual.
Forbidden words?
Magic, wing, feather. Oh, and mayonnaise.
What's wrong with man?
This right here is the best way you can possibly deliver exposition. Raise a question that the audience and one of the characters wants answers to, and have a character that is in the know explain everything. It flows so well, it keeps the audience engaged, and it comes up completely naturally. They then go to the Crystal Tea Room, where Sunny challenges a pony named Alphabeetle to a game of Just Prance, in order to win the Unicorn Crystal. Yes, that is its actual name, despite being DDR. Now, I have multiple problems with this scene. This is supposed to be an intense and suspenseful scene, but there are several reasons why it doesn't work as well as it should. First off, Sunny puts up the Pegasus Crystal as a bet, which the audience knows she can't lose, because plot. So we already know that she's gonna win, causing there to be little to no tension. It's possible she could lose and then they might have to end up stealing the crystal, or put something else up for bet, but no, that doesn't happen, and if they were gonna steal it in the end, it would render the entire dance scene pointless. Speaking of stealing the crystals, they chose to steal Queen Haven's crystal, so I'm not entirely sure why they suddenly aren't willing to steal this one. The only thing I can think of is that Rubberina gave them permission to steal from her mother, but that explanation feels kinda weak. The third and final issue I have with this scene is the dance itself. The game is a best out of 3, but Alphabeetle tells Sunny that she only needs to win 1 out of 3. Now in the first match, Sunny does nothing. She just presses like one button. Round 2, Sunny is actually trying, but fails so miserably her arrow shows she didn't score anything, or at least little to nothing. Round 3, she beats the champion who literally owns this game, and it's not even close. The movie doesn't convince me that Sunny should have been able to win that. The only reason she wins is because of the encouragement from her friends. But confidence does not equal skill. It can certainly help, but it's not enough on its own. I can confirm that Alphabeetle is pretty darn confident in his abilities. Maybe if Sunny was shown to have a hobby for dancing earlier in the movie, I could see this working. And I know that her wheel is moving faster, allowing her to score more points, but again, she shouldn't have the skill level to keep up with that. Sadly, what was meant to be an exciting moment ended up being far more boring than originally intended. The music was good, though. But oh no, yet again! It is revealed that Sunny is an Earth pony, and every pony else reveals themselves as well. Well, except for Izzy, of course. They then perform what has to be the greatest escape in animation history.
Magic wing feather mayonnaise! Bing! Bong!
Bing bong! Bing bong! Bing bong!
But as they run off, they run into Queen Haven, who is being chased by the royal guards, and our characters now find themselves trapped between the Pegasi and the unicorns. Something odd about this scene that I've noticed is that the guards say that they are arresting the queen, but when Alphabeetle starts talking to her, they stand up for her, saying, "Hey, that's our queen you're talking to." Why is it that this movie can go long stretches with good writing, but every once in a while there are these tiny moments that make no sense? So as the arguing between these two escalates, Sunny bursts out saying that no pony has magic, but they can restore it by reuniting the crystals. Oh, wow, it didn't work. Who could have guessed? Surely you had some sort of reason to believe that reuniting these crystals would bring back magic. By the way, how many pony kinds are there again? Also, I totally did not notice that there is a spot for a third crystal. Yeah, why did you think that again? Because from what I recall, there was nothing to indicate that, and this entire misadventure was based on a wild guess. Even though I criticize this moment for how predictable it is and how Sunny's logic makes no sense, it does still hit the mark on an emotional level, as Sunny and Hitch give up and head back home. After Sunny returns home, she realizes that she has had the third crystal all along. And I will say, it was pretty obvious that Argyle would be the one to have it, but I didn't put together that it would be the crystal used in Sunny's nightlight? Is there a name for that thing? Carousel crystal? I'm sure it has some kind of name. Leave a comment if you know what it is. So Sunny runs off to tell Hitch about her discovery, but in the process, they find that Sprout has turned the citizens of Maretime Bay into his own personal army, and built a massive war machine to fight the Pegasi and unicorns with. So Hitch and Sunny run off to warn every pony, but it turns out that the others were on their way to Maretime Bay because they wanted to stay friends, with Queen Haven and Alphabettle following behind them in order to bring them back home. Now, I get that the guards went to arrest the Queen, but I don't understand why all these other unicorns decided to tag along. Maybe to keep Alphabettle safe from the Pegasi? I don't know. This movie has a lot of unanswered questions. So Sprout shows up with his machine, and Sunny's plan to defeat it is to restore magic. So she takes the two crystals from Alphabettle and Haven to the lighthouse. Not sure why she didn't just bring her Earth Pony crystal along, but okay. While she attempts to put them together, Sprout begins using his Splatapult on the surrounding ponies, and is ramming his machine into the lighthouse in order to destroy it.
Sprout! Let's put the toy away!
Mommy, please put Mommy, I'm in charge!
Every time he says mommy, I can't help but think of just how much better a villain a fool made. So after a bunch of near injuries and or deaths, Sunny manages to reunite the crystals, which, once again, don't work. Her home is then destroyed and falls on Sprout's war machine. But don't worry, he's okay. Actually, maybe you should worry.
I understand now. It's not the crystals that need to be brought together. It's us.
Wait, you're only just now realizing this? What was all that stuff in the beginning of the movie, with the stickers and the taking over of Canterlogic's show? Was that not you trying to encourage every pony to choose friendship, despite having written a literal letter of friendship? You didn't even know bringing magic back was an option until like 2 days ago! Okay, this moment where Haven, Alpha, and Phyllis put this picture frame back together is really touching and all, but I gotta wonder, how did it even end up outside? The picture wasn't even in the tower, it was by the front door. I could see it falling off the wall from the first impact and hitting the floor, but I'm really just nitpicking at this point. So after the three pony kinds come together in friendship, the crystals respond by magically reuniting themselves, turning Sunny into an alicorn and causing magic across Equestria to be restored. And all three pony kinds are finally friends again. So, I have a few small questions. Who made the crystals? Where did they come from? Why did Sunny become an alicorn? Is her transformation permanent? Why did magic disappear in the first place? Did magic disappear recently? Because they know how to levitate objects. Does Sprout face any repercussions for his actions? Well, the answer for that last one is a no. No, it does not. As for the rest of those questions, I have an entire theory video dedicated to understanding these crystals. Still don't understand them 100% though. So that was My Little Pony, A New Generation. How was it? I'd say it was pretty good. Better than I was expecting, but not as good as I was hoping. Although, to be fair, Friendship is Magic set a pretty high bar, so my hopes were pretty darn high as well. I would call it better than the 2016 movie we were given. The characters were fun, although I didn't feel like the princesses got nearly enough screen time and development. I think Zipp was close to having enough, but Pipp barely got any, and her character seems pretty simple. She likes singing, social media, and that's about it. There are 2 lines that hint at a deeper character though, and that's when Queen Haven says that Pipp tells her everything, and when Pipp complains to, yeah, I'll just use her real name now, Zipp. She complains to Zipp about leaving her hanging when their secret is discovered. I think more of her character will come out in the series when we get to see her interact more with these 2. As for the plot, it's predictable. Extremely predictable. No particularly interesting twists or turns. The animation was incredible, like ridiculous levels of detail. You can look at just about anything in this movie and see that they put a bunch of tiny little details in there that no one's even gonna pay attention to, and no one's gonna notice. I was concerned that the movie would be lacking in this department, but it went above and beyond what I was hoping for. My only complaint about the animation is the way that everything just kind of sticks to the pony's hooves, as if they're coated in some kind of glue. G4 at least made an effort to avoid this by having the characters grab stuff with their mouths, wings, or magic, and when they did use hooves, they usually put in effort to make it look like they were actually grabbing an object and not just sticking to it. This movie also seems to have several continuity errors in regards to G4, such as cutie marks only appearing on one side of a pony's flank, or the day and night cycle operating on its own. But I'm willing to give this series a chance to explain these errors. Overall, good movie. It has its strengths, it has its problems, but it is an enjoyable film. I think there is a chance that newer viewers might be able to enjoy the movie more because they don't have G4 to compare it to, and they can't see the multiple continuity errors. So, I am actually going to be making a collab with a friend of mine, Black Moonlight, who has never seen MLP, and we are going to be getting her thoughts on the movie. So if that interests you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, this is Starstrike signing out, and I will see you in the next one. My goodness, this video is long. My throat and mouth are dry from talking so much.